Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about thrifting, and these are just some thrifting tips that I picked up along my journey as a thrifter. I get some questions just asking me how I thrift and things like that, so I'm kind of breaking this down into the do's and don'ts of thrifting, just little tips and pointers to help you if you are a first-time thrifter or you just don't really know what you're doing. I found that these tips really help me a lot, and they're just kind of like a good basis to go off of if you are new to thrifting. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the don'ts, and then I will go on into the do's, and I hope that this will help you guys out. I like this format, it's just kind of easy to break it down, so let's go ahead and jump in. The first don't I have is don't go with anything specific in mind. Most thrift stores are so giant and large that there is a very large selection, and you can probably get overwhelmed if you're just looking for one black t-shirt. It's good to just kind of go through everything and let your mind drift and just kind of find pieces that you think would look good on you but aren't necessarily what you're looking for, if that makes sense. I find that when I'm looking for one particular thing, it can be kind of limiting because I might pass over sections that I wouldn't have looked in, or I just would pass up that shirt because it's not what I have in mind. So definitely don't try to limit yourself when you're going thrifting. My next tip is don't focus on sizing or sizes specifically on the item, because a lot of thrift store items are older or they're from different brands, and one size doesn't really fit all, if that makes sense. Like your size, if I'm a 6, I might be a 12 in a thrift store size. You don't know because the brands are just so random and there's so many of them. It's best to just kind of focus on like fit or judge it with your eye rather than going by the specific size. Obviously, if you are an extra small and you pick up an extra large t-shirt, I don't think it's gonna fit you, but generally just kind of focus on the overall kind of cut or fit of the shirt or whatever you're looking at rather than the specific size on the tag. The next don't I have for you guys is not to focus on designers, and this is kind of just going along with the tag and label and brand name and everything like that. Even if you find an Urban Outfitters t-shirt there, it might not fit you that well. So go off of what things look like and how they feel, just the fabric material and stuff like that, other than specific brands. A lot of times there are going to be weird no-names brands at thrift stores, but if you kind of just push through and try things on based on what they look like rather than the brand name, I think that you'll be a lot happier and you'll probably find a lot more better. You'll probably find a lot better pieces there than if you were just going off brand names. My next don't I have is don't focus on the season, and this is very specific for me, especially when I go to my Value Village, which is one of my favorite thrift stores ever. It's right down the street from me basically. I generally buy what I refer to as old man sweaters, which are just sweaters from the men's section that are oversized and very lived in and worn in and very comfortable. And because they're at the thrift store, they're basically like $5, so it's really hard for me to stop myself from buying them, so I normally don't. If I know that I'm going to get a lot of use out of it, like a sweater or a pair of pants or something in the summer, I'll still buy it. The good thing about the thrift store is that things are so inexpensive that you can justify spending money on a piece that you only wear a couple times, or that it's not in season. So definitely don't limit yourself on like shorts and t-shirts, because it's the summer right now. Go look at pants and even coats. A lot of times you can find hidden gems there in that section because a lot of people won't be looking over those sections because it is not in season. So there'll be more options, and it's just a really good idea to kind of look over everything regardless of the season. My last don't is don't get carried away, and I know that's kind of confusing because I've been telling you to look at all this stuff and go crazy and everything, but I would say don't get carried away means don't buy things that you think you maybe will like. Even though it's from the thrift store and it's only about $5 probably, it's still not a good idea to spend money if you don't absolutely love the piece. I do like to buy things that are trendy, so if you know that you're gonna wear it, you know that you like it, I would say buy it. But if you're on the fence, don't spend your money. It's still a waste of money even if it's only $3. It is very easy to rack up money in a thrift store because you're like, this is $3, this is $7, this is $5, and before you know, you have about 50 bucks worth of stuff in your cart. When I normally go thrift shopping, I'll pick out things that I like, and then when I try them on or I'm just going through the store, I'll put things back if I think that I won't wear them. Like some of them are kind of iffy choices, and because I don't want to get carried away and spend money on things I don't need, I'll end up putting them back. So don't get carried away, it's a very important tip. So now we've come to the do's, which are probably a little bit more happy, and my first do is to look through everything. Don't limit yourself to women's clothing or men's clothing if you're a man. Look through everything, the shoes, the men's department, even the children's department sometimes can have some good stuff if you are a little bit more petite. I also really love looking through the homeware section. That's where I find so many of my knickknacks in my room. Jewelry section is also a really good find too, so definitely don't limit yourself. Just kind of go in with an open mind and go through everything, and you will probably find some pieces that you maybe weren't expecting to find but that you really love. My next do is to dress comfortably, especially if you are going to a Goodwill or a thrift store that does have a dressing room. My Value Village doesn't have one, so I normally will just like kind of do the ghetto try on where I just try things on over my clothes. But for Goodwill, you are allowed to be in a dressing room, so I dress really comfortably when I go to a thrift store. Always make sure to wear undergarments because you never know, you know, what you're going to be trying on. Some things are icky and you want to just be protected down there, if you know what I'm saying. It's a good idea just to wear a t-shirt and a really comfortable pair of like shorts or something like that, so you're easily able to try them on and off or slip them on and off a lot of time. My next do is very important, and this is to focus on minor details, and things like this include stains, hems, loose threads, buttons, holes, kind of just the stitching and detailing on fabrics and items. A lot of thrift store items are great and they're in perfect condition, but a lot of them are also like not and they have some stains or little holes in them, and you want to be aware of that before you buy it because you obviously can't return it. When I'm holding a shirt, I'll just look at all the stitching, I'll flip it over, you know, look at the armpits, because if they're white shirts, sometimes they will have sweat stains. Just really look it over and look for all little details and everything like that. Another do that I have is when in doubt, go with blacks, and this is in part because I love dressing in black. It's basically my favorite color to wear, but it's a good tip to go with blacks at a thrift store because black is a fabric that holds up pretty well. Unlike a bright pink that's really going to fade with time, black is just a dark fabric that won't really show a lot of staining or wear. I would also say go with whites as well, as long as they're in good clean condition, you know, they're not yellowed. But blacks and whites are typically fabrics or colors in fabrics that will look more high-end even if they're a little cheaper. My second to last do tip is to keep an open mind but also keep your expectations low. Don't go thrifting, especially if it's your first time, expecting to find, you know, 5 flannels and some kick-ass t-shirts. Sometimes you just don't find shit, and that's okay. Thrifting is kind of like treasure hunting in a way because you have to really check everything and be very meticulous, and my lighting just went away. Awesome. Keep your expectations low because sometimes I go out with only like 1 or 2 things. As long as they're quality pieces though, I'm still happy with my find because it's a fun way to spend an afternoon, and I really do like, you know, finding that treasure piece kind of. My last tip, if possible, is to go with a friend. I have my friend Allie and we really like to go thrifting together, and it's good that you have a friend because you can kind of bounce your opinions off of them. I like going any kind of shopping with a friend or my mom or my sister just because they can kind of talk you out of ridiculous purchases that you don't need, and the same is true with thrifting. And that jacket with those shoulder pads, although it might be $5, still probably isn't a good idea. So if you can, go with a friend and just, you know, it's really good to just bounce ideas off of them and they will talk you down from the ledge, so to speak. So guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, my thrifting tips. I compiled a list on my phone, so I think that's like pretty much all I wanted to say, but if I forgot anything, I'll put it in the description bar. If you guys are avid thrifters, please leave any tips that I didn't mention or things you want to add in the comments so we can all kind of read them and go over them in my little community. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you're having a great day. If you are new to my channel, my name is Rachel. I try to put out videos every Thursday and sometimes Sunday, and I talk about lifestyle, beauty, fashion, kind of thrifting, DIY. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, and I will talk to you guys in my next video, guys. Love you. Bye.
Late at night, I pretend dancing in the dark.